There we go. All right. Hi, everybody. We have a few people joining us live right now. We were just talking before we opened up the webinar, we were talking about our rep night last week, and I admit I had fun. It was good. It was good.
We proved Julie wrong
We proved,
again.
and I admit it. I admit I will take the I've been proven wrong. It was really fun. You all talked about some great books, and we were talking that like we had three of our books, so actually four, well, three of our booksellers and our head buyer presented. And they had a ball. And I was the one this year that didn't do anything.
We'll get you out to dinner next year, Julie.
I can
When
go
you
on.
really
I'll just do the whole thing. It's like I'm not doing anything.
Embrace it, Julie. Embrace it.
Embrace
Yeah.
it. So they all like they worked so hard, they pulled it off, and it was really fun. And so hopefully you guys, I don't know if you guys have already talked about all of the books that you talked about the other week for that. And there's Andrea. We got a nice house here. Hi, Andrea.
I
We're just
also had great conversations with people
yeah,
Multiple people.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Really great book conversation.
really good conversations. And I was really happy that like I was happy that some of our tea time people showed up, but I was really happy that some people that were there had not watched tea time. And so I had a bunch of people, not a bunch, I had a couple people come up and ask me how to watch tea time.
Oh,
So
good.
so that was really fun
Excellent.
too. Because I just don't think that people understand how cool this is that y'all come on every week and talk about recommendations. It's awesome that
It's
you
hard to
We
guys.
can't
explain,
help
isn't
ourselves. We must talk about books.
it? Every
But
week.
but our customers love it. They love your recommendations. They love it's proof in what we sell that week. And so it's a win-win all the way around. So we appreciate you taking the time, the reps, and we appreciate everybody who's watching. So I know that we only have a few people here live, but we get lots of views on our YouTube channel after. So
And the newsletter, which is so fantastic.
and the newsletter, which is
Yeah.
just to me is even the bigger bonus of it all, because then that is going out to everybody.
It's a
So
good one. It is a
it,
good one.
yeah, it's all good. All right, so if y'all don't turn your cameras off, the the order to
Let's all turn our cameras off just to confuse Julie. Who knows what order we'll be in?
no,
No,
just like
let's
in
not.
different orders. So okay, it's gonna go Julia, Liz, Tom, and Andrea. So I've set up the screen share so you can use it if you need it. So Julia, take it away.
Sure thing. So I'm doing a little bit of a going back in time through the year. I went back through the year to pick out some of my favorite books
There you go.
that I really loved this year from Hachette. So the first one is an artisan title called Bourbon Land. I think I talked about it before. A spirited love letter to my old Kentucky whiskey with 50 recipes. And this is maybe my favorite cookbook of the year, just for myself that I cook from. What I love about it is I'm a big bourbon drinker and a big whiskey drinker. And what I love about it is it's enough. You can see it's got like information about bourbon, what it is, what glass should I use to drink it, stuff like that. And then it's got these great recipes with bourbon. And so, it answers questions, it goes into the history of bourbon, but then has these great, I mean, truly some of them wonderful recipes.
Oh my God,
Bourbon
that one looks so good.
right? I made my girlfriend a bourbon miso butter sweet potato from this.
What?
And there's like
Sounds amazing.
yeah, oh, it's so good. There's a few cocktail recipes, although not many. So they're kind of like you can figure out the cocktails and we'll just teach you all about bourbon and how to cook. And Kentucky distillery tour sort of there's all sorts of different things. So kind of for someone who maybe either is a big bourbon fan or is looking to sort of broaden their horizons in that way. I just think it's a fabulous book from top to bottom and a great gift.
Is that an artisan book?
Is artisan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do such a good job.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's like foil stamping on the cover.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous paper. There's gorgeous photographs throughout, and
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah, they're top notch on their cookbooks. And so excellent, excellent gift.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And it teaches you who people are, like who's Evan Williams, who's Jack Daniels, who's Jim Beam, and like the history behind all those people.
All
So
right.
it's really fun. Yeah.
Very, very wealthy families right now, I would say.
Now, yes, although a lot of them started in nefarious ways.
Which doesn't all good bootlegging was probably during something called Prohibition or something.
Yeah, well, they at least have a history with it. If not,
Yeah.
it didn't open during it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
it still's out in the boonies.
Yeah.
Love it. I saw this great thing. Oh my God. In the Appalachian, I obviously spend way too much time on social media, but it's got nothing to do with, but it just reminds me when you're talking about out in the boonies. There was this thing that these guys do, and I can't think of what it's called now, but they like the vibrations in the ground that make earthworms come up and it's called something like, I don't even know what it's called, but I was fascinated. Like I spent like 5 minutes watching these people out in the boonies in the Appalachian Mountains, like collecting earthworms from these vibrations.
I love it.
Amanda says it's grunting.
Grunting, yes.
Oh my
It
gosh.
really is grunting.
It's called grunting, and it's they put a wood stick, and then they have this like 10-pound like piece of metal that makes this grunting sound that sends vibrations through the forest, and then all these worms come up from the ground. It's like Dune. And so they're talking exactly. So yeah, I spent a little bit too much time on that today. So just saying. All right, Liz, rescue me. Let's talk
I
about
will
a book.
rescue you. So let's see. You should be seeing this publishing event for us this fall. Haruki Murakami's first novel in 6 years. He's had some forays into some interesting nonfiction, but everybody's been waiting for this. And so it's at Warwick's. It's on sale now. This springs from a story that he started 40 years ago. And the beginnings of that story are in Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World, which was published in the 80s. So it it expands the world of this town. So he's an involved storyteller. Anybody that's read him knows that it's layered and it goes in a lot of different directions. He has such an amazing cult following. But what you need to know about this is that it begins with this nameless teenage couple. They're in love, and then one day she disappears, and then her absence haunts our main character for the rest of his life. So think ghosts, an homage to libraries and books. This place, the town, there's a dream reader who reviews dreams, and your shadow can become untethered from yourself. It's just this incredible world, but it's also reading it's grounded in storytelling that you can follow. So it's a really special book, and tons of accolades, Indie Next Pick, and all of those things. So if you're looking for a parable and an entry into a strange world that will really engross you, the city and its uncertain walls is definitely it.
And always anytime Murakami has any book, whether it's a novel or is always an event. So great gift, another great gift idea for somebody, because you can probably guarantee that they haven't read it yet because it just came out. So probably a safe gift to buy for someone.
Yep.
All right, Tom, what do you have for us today?
So Rental House by Y.K. Wang. So we snuck this in just into early December. This went on sale last week. And I think I missed tea time last week. So
Yes,
that's
you
why
did.
I'm
Yes, yes, you did. Jen won't point it out, but yes, you
But
did.
you marked it down in the book, the big book.
Yes, you're getting good. It's going on your permanent record.
I'm afraid so. So Y.K. Wang is a terrific young novelist. This is her third novel. Chemistry was her first, and that won a bunch of awards. And this is her first with Riverhead, and Riverhead is the perfect kind of publisher for her. So this is the story of a couple who met in college. They were from completely different backgrounds. Her parents are kind of strict Chinese immigrants, and his parents are Appalachia. They're from Appalachia. They have different they're white. They voted for Trump. They couldn't be more different in their backgrounds. But they found each other, and they now are living. It's a few years into their marriage, and they're starting to have success in their professional lives. They have a dog, but no kids. And so the book is structured around two vacations that they take with each set of in-laws. So you can imagine the tensions that arise with each of them in their way, and how the couple, the pressures of that impact the couple. And it's really a subtle look at America today, but very subtle. I mean, it's not a sociological novel, though, although that comes through. It's really a book about a marriage under pressure that we can all relate to, and it's funny. It's very smart. She's got a sly wit, and she's a protege, and her mentor was Sigrid Nunez. And so I think and now she has the same publisher and the same editor, which is what I mean by she's found the perfect home here, Riverhead. And if you like Sigrid's books, which are sneakily powerful, go down easy, but then afterwards there's a strong kick, that's Rental House. So really happy to have it out for the holidays. Y.K. Wang's third novel.
Yeah,
And
and Beth,
it's a small, powerful hardcover.
love that. Beth's on here saying she loves her. So
Oh,
you
that's
have something
great.
you have something new to read. And there's something new happening in publishing. I can't tell you how many books that aren't like because typically in December, sometimes you'll have like big blockbusters come out. You'll have a Patterson, you'll have like
Yeah.
a Columbia, have that.
Back in the day, we published Clive Cussler, the
Right.
first week of December.
First week of December. So there's this
Yeah.
new thing that's happening because I'm actually hosting like events that are normal events, like into the first and second weeks of December, which has never happened before. Almost like in the summertime, it used to be that very few things would get published in the summer. So
Yeah, or
publishing's
in August. Now August is filled with great books.
August is filled with great books. So
Yeah,
it's great to see some of these. I hope they don't get lost. I hope these December ones don't get lost
me too.
in the holiday madness that happens because there's some like this book here. We had the Collaborators author. We had Havoc, which we had that author, and those are two really good books. I just hope they don't get lost. So
I do
that's
too,
my
and that they don't get because we all move on. The world moves on January 1st, to
oh
a
yeah,
whole
it's like we
new
reset
book.
our
So,
brains.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
our
I have the
brains go
same.
into a reset. So, but I think that she's got enough fans that I think this one will do really well.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrea, good to have you back too. Not that we're keeping track.
Thank you very much. I'm very sorry that I missed the big rep night in person, but
Yeah.
I did have a previous engagement
Yeah.
at Pages.
We're gonna try next year to get it where a few more of us can join in. So
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I know you guys had a great time. And speaking of books that we don't want to fall through the cracks in the holiday crush and January reset, this is definitely one on that list. This is by Carrie Groner, and it's a really amazing debut novel called The Way. This comes from Spiegel and Grau, impeccable editorial quality. They just are acquiring some great books. And this just received publication week raves from the San Francisco Review and the LA Times. And it's basically a blending of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance with Emily St. Mandel's Station 11. It's got so obviously there's a little bit of a post-apocalyptic thing going on. It's a story of a battle-scarred survivor on a desperate post-apocalyptic end of the world post-apocalyptic I can't say it, post-apocalyptic road trip.
there you go.
So there's also shades of Cormac McCarthy's The Road here. There are talking animals. So it's firmly rooted in the fantasy tradition of, say, the Narnia Chronicles, the Philip Pullman books, but instead of based in the Christian tradition, it's rooted in Zen Buddhism, where our protagonist is the only survivor after a lethal virus in a Zen Buddhist center retreat in Colorado, who receives an urgent message from somebody on the West Coast, mysterious, but he goes on this quest. And yes, talking animals. Let's see what the Los Angeles Times says. Groner's novel has more depth than The Last of Us, among other things. San Francisco Chronicle. The Way is a smart, tough-minded thriller, a book about living with the knowledge that sooner or later everyone who lives will be broken by grief. It's a challenge that doesn't just apply in 2048, which is the time that this book is set. It's got a lot going for it. It is 304 pages, so it's a nice immersive novel for people to read over the holiday. You're sick of the little Christmas jingles? Read a post-apocalyptic road trip novel, okay? So, anyway, The Way. Carrie Groner, we expect for this to like get a lot more word of mouth and buzz from readers as it goes.
Yeah. Spiegel and Grau always does a great job. They do a great job. They
Yeah.
have been in this industry for a long time. They have a very keen eye, and that cover is fantastic.
Yeah, and they also have a great small but mighty marketing publication and marketing team.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I can't even talk. Not
That's okay.
publication.
Publicity.
I need a reset, you guys. My brain needs a reset right now.
January's coming. January's coming. New year, new you, baby.
I feel you. I feel you, Andrea. I feel the same.
I mean, I'm off. Tomorrow's my birthday, okay?
Ah,
Oh,
And
happy birthday.
yeah, and basically Sagittarians, like the whole month is a celebration.
Yeah.
That's how we roll. We're very convivial. Thank you, Dee. And so I'm taking off next Monday through the end of the year, and
Wow.
obviously I need it. But I might jump onto a tea time or two. We'll see.
Okay. Well,
Right.
hopefully you will. Hopefully you'll be so bored that it'll be like, oh, gotta
Yes.
do tea time.
Yes, publicity and marketing is what I'm trying to
Publicity and
say.
marketing.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Okay, Julie, what do you got next for us?
All right. Fellow Sagittarian over here.
There you go.
Okay, my next one. So this came out in the summer. I know I talked about it on here, but I want to it's one of my favorite books of the year. I have maybe 2 or 3 favorite fiction books from Hachette's list this year. And this from Little Brown, The Most by Jessica Anthony. This was longlisted for the National Book Award. It is a slim book, and it's a paperback original. So it's one that doesn't take a great deal of monetary or time investment, but does it pack a punch. It reminds me a little bit of like those old oh God, I always forget his name, who wrote Revolutionary Road.
Richard Yates.
Richard Yates, thank you. Richard Yates, like, suburban, mid-century suburban, not just ennui, but like real devastation. But this is done with such a there's a comedy flair to it, there's a darkness to it. And it is about a woman who one day she and her husband, they live in an apartment building, like things aren't going like great, they have kids, but her husband's kind of a loser, and she kind of thinks that about him. And one day she just has had it, and she gets in the pool at their apartment building, and she refuses to get out, and sort of slowly all the people in the apartment are like figuring out that this woman is not getting out of the pool. And you sort of go back through the history of this couple, and sort of what she gave up to be in this relationship, and what he, I don't know that he gave up, but wishes he got out of this relationship. It is a fascinating character study. And like I said, really, it's like 200 pages. I read in one sitting, just a phenomenal book. I think a really one of our best of the year. So The Most by Jessica Anthony. Yeah, I highly recommend it as a gift for either yourself or someone who maybe missed it earlier in the year. But it's really great.
Yeah, because that is one that I missed earlier, and I keep bubbling, and it keeps ending up on like a different stack that I have to get to, and then other things get stacked on top, and it's like I so want to read that because we have a couple booksellers at the store that love it.
Yeah.
And so Dee's on here. She just bought it yesterday because of your wreck. And she
Thanks,
says,
Dee.
I like the idea of ignoring some family at this time of year. So it's all me. It
Yeah,
is all you, Dee. That's the thing.
yeah, me too. And Liz Cheever is the other person I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That it does feel like a John Cheever story in a way.
A little dark, but you had me at 200 pages. It's hard for us to read other publishers' works, but the
I
more
know.
I hear you talk about this, once I get over obsessing on how much is she pruning in her skin, I don't know if it addresses that, but
It kind of does, yeah. They talk about it.
yeah, I feel like on vacation I have to get this because it
Well,
just
but I think that there's this thing happening. We're talking about like the different times of year that things are being published, but there's also this thing that's happening too, that it's like either books are like 200, 250 pages, or they're like 450. It
Mhm.
seems like that 325 thing isn't happening so much
Right.
anymore. I don't know what's happening, but it's just like, I mean, I love it because I could read more of those 200 and some odd page books, that's for sure. But some of the 450 ones probably don't need to be 450.
Well, yeah, and I
It
mean,
makes
I love short fiction, so it's nice to, get novella size books basically
Yeah.
that like keep your attention, but you don't have to like, apply like 2 weeks to.
Exactly. But I do have to say, like, when I do get like a good, solid, good 325, 350, there's something that's satisfying about that.
Yeah.
Like a
There's
James
something,
McBride or it's like
yeah,
you
there's
just
something
get
that it's like you
free.
you feel like you got it all. Sometimes those 450s, it's like 100 pages needed to come off of this thing.
You got it all and more.
And more. Very rarely do I read a 450-page book where I'm like, I think Cloud Cuckoo Land might be the last one. And that might have been closer to 600 pages. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's like that might be the last book that I read that was just like such a work of brilliance that it was just like, okay. But most
Okay,
of
so I'm not going to give you my arc of the 700-page Yiddish classic that I'm selling.
yeah, that might be a stretch for me, Liz. But you never know. I could be like, that's brilliant.
Indie Next. No.
That's a work of, but you never know. Sometimes there are those
No,
that
it's a classic. Anyway,
yeah.
more
Okay.
on that
More
at
on
another
that
time.
later. Okay. What do you have next
So
for us?
back to my screen and my short, great gift book that I am recommending far and wide, which is Vanishing Treasures from Catherine Rundell, who people may know as a best-selling children's author. Impossible Creatures is there on the screen. This is such a beautiful book. It truly is a book that you could, I think, give anyone, even kids who are fascinated by animals and want to know quirky facts. It's witty, it's smart. You learn about 23 different endangered or underappreciated animals. They're not all obscure. I love the seahorse chapter. There's even a human chapter so we can learn more about ourselves. Great illustrations. It's just a surprise. Reading it is really a surprise. It just things that, great cocktail party conversation too. You learn so many different things. So I think, and Bill Bryson says it's a rare and magical book. Maggie O'Farrell loved it. It's an Indie Next. Did I already say that? Just all these unknown histories, and the author is dedicated to donating all of her royalties to causes, to animal welfare causes. So I think that's really, it's always nice to tell people when an author's cause, they're putting their money where their mouth is, and she definitely is. And then her writing style is just, it's brilliant and accessible. I love this book.
Love it. Another great gift book for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about small books. Amanda's in the background talking about Kevin Barry's The Heart in Winter. which was one of her favorite small books of the year. And anything that Kevin Barry writes basically is something that everybody needs to read.
Yeah, and Steve Atinsky, that was one of his parting
Yep.
before he retired. He just really shared his passion for Kevin
Yep.
Barry.
Yeah, I mean, Night Boat to Tangier, chef's kiss. So good. All right, Tom.
Okay, I have a bigger book. This is Everyone Who Is Gone Is Here by Jonathan Blitzer. So last Tuesday was one of my favorite days on the literary calendar. That's the day the New York Times releases its 10 best books of the year.
You love a good list.
I love a good list, and that is a fascinating list. This year, not a lot of surprises, I don't think, not as many as I thought, but it's nice to see a book like this, which came out earlier, maybe in May or something, have a renewed life, because this is a really important book. Very similar in a way to what happened when God's Soldiers and Kings won the National Book Award a couple of weeks ago. That was about a part of the immigration crisis. This is a different way of looking at it. This is they're good companion books together. So Jonathan Blitzer it's his first book, but he is a rising star at the New Yorker. And thank God for the New Yorker, because they keep finding these amazing reporters who dig deeply into important, subjects like this. And this is, in this book, he's putting the whole crisis at the border in a historical perspective, while at the same time interviewing so many people on the ground about their stories. So you come to understand, there are hundreds of thousands of people who are at the border, the U.S.-Mexico border, but many of them have come from Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and much of the reason they are there, much of the reason, we can debate, goes back decades in U.S. foreign policy. So he's digging deep into the history of this part of the world, which has led us to this point. So he's weaving together the story of activists, government officials, politicians that have led to a lot of tragic foreign policy, immigration policy. So the New York Times, in their notation about it, said his kaleidoscopic narrative moves between the Central American insurgencies that flooded this country with refugees and the shifting and frequently incoherent policies that worsened the fallout. We meet morally pragmatic domestic politicians, a tireless activist who's moved from El Salvador to Chicago, LA teenagers ensnared in gang pipelines. None of it is simple. All of it has a terrible cost. Blitzer handles his vast topic with assurance and grace, never losing sight of the human element behind the global crisis. So this is a book that will live on and be like a classic that's referred back to understand this time and even the last 30, 40 years. So Everyone Who Is Gone Is Here. And Jonathan Blitzer is a great writer. Like, he's definitely going to be one of those New Yorker writers that we hear a lot more from.
Here's my recommendation. Buy it now and then read it in January.
Yes. Yes.
Because I think in January, we're all going to need to have some perspective on what's going to be happening.
Absolutely.
Because it's like we have the memory of a gnat. I used to say we have the attention span of a gnat. We have the memory of. I think we're goldfish. I think goldfish have the worst memories, right?
Well, we're vying with the goldfish then.
We're vying with the goldfish for
no
the lack of
memory.
memory. No historical memory or historical context for what any of this stuff means. So we need books like this for sure. No
Absolutely.
question. All right, Andrea, what do you got for us?
Thank you. I'm bringing up something that I talked about earlier this fall in mid San Diego. See?
Yeah, it's time for your birthday. Hey, have a drink.
I am really, I don't know what's up, but anyway, in mid-September I talked about this, but this is a perfect holiday gift, obviously, especially for those on this call that do live in the San Diego area. San Diego Cooks. Absolutely gorgeous photography here, which, that's always a plus in a cookbook. But the recipes are very stunning as well. And smoked pork loin with watercress salad, okay? So this is just a great little gift guide. There's a big stack for folks to go into the store or have one sent. You can do that at Warwick's too, which is nice. And there's over 70 recipes here from the top restaurants in the the greater San Diego area. And it also celebrates various chefs at these places as well. So a really nice survey of San Diego restaurants done in style, as should be, considering that San Diego is the home of some really great restaurants. So
And we had a couple of we had the authors, and then a couple of the chefs showed up for an event back
yeah.
in September too. Great gift book for anybody that lives in San Diego, or like you said, if you want a little taste of what San Diego is.
Yep.
Another great gift book. All right, we're ready for our lightning round. We just blow through this stuff now. We've gotten this down to like a science here, people. Okay,
I don't
okay,
think
Julia.
any of us are going to beat Mallory talking about books, but we'll try.
Honest to God, she went through what was it, 8 books in 3.5 minutes or something.
It was stunning.
It was stunning, but she got her point across about each of them.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
she was great. I don't know
about
how
8
she
books
did
in.
it, but it was amazing.
It was pretty amazing. All right.
Okay, my lightning round is this is part of our sort of biggest book of the year, The Wild Robot. And so it is of course the book that the movie is based on. And it's one of Hachette's biggest selling books of the year, even though the original Wild Robot came out a number of years ago. But it's a 3-book series, and we have a nice box set that has all 3 books in hardcover. Obviously, you can get one or each of them individually. I just sort of wanted to highlight this amazing series. It's funny, when my first season that I sold at Hachette was when The Wild Robot Protects came out, the 3rd book in the series. And it's one of those things where all of a sudden you get sort of schooled by your accounts, where everyone starts being so excited, and I hadn't really sold children's books in a long time. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, I need to pay attention. So I ordered all the Wild Robot books to my house to read them, and they will make you cry. I'm telling you right now, even if you're a grown up, they'll still make you cry. They're lovely books about a robot sort of finding their way. And like I said, that was one of our biggest sellers this year, was the Wild Robot original and the whole series. So
what age group did you
it's
say?
middle grade. It's middle grade.
Okay.
So 8 to 14 kind of, but honestly, it can go older. Like, I did actually really enjoy reading them.
Yeah.
They were easy to read for me, so I read them, pretty quickly in a few hours. But man, touching, wonderful, just a wonderful story. So
I'm writing it down. I think I need to buy that for my nephew, my great nephew,
Okay.
I should say.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah,
My nephew's
and
older.
sneak peek that there's maybe an illustrated edition coming in 2025,
Awesome.
just to wet your whistle.
Okay. All right. There you go. I think Amanda's excited about that illustrated issue. All right. Liz, what you got for us?
Well, I wanted to ask really quickly. So this is the movie, the Wild Robot movie that's been out for a little while. The books are based on that, or
Yes.
the movies. Oh, my brother loves that. It's like he's 60, so I think any fan of the movie would be into those books. Anyway,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's
can
what
you-
the original is, what the movie's based on, but there's 3 in the series. So there may be more movies coming. I actually
Yeah.
have no idea about that.
that's
That's not me being coy.
exciting. Okay, so lightning round. I'm not going fast enough, but
That's
I
okay.
do want to take a minute to just say this cover is so gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
it
just
is.
love it. I want it like as a poster, etc. So a wonderful short story collection that made. I really like the top 10 New York Times list was incredible. I also love the NPR list, which is much longer and had surprises on it. And so this was a short story collection that came out in spring, vintage paperback, Korean American. And it's fantastical, but it's also some of the stories are very realistic. It explores Korean American womanhood, bodies, animals. So it is for literary fiction lovers. It has folklore in it and fable. Here are just a few examples to whet your appetite of the stories that are in here. So a pair of talking dolls help a set of twins escape a stifling home. This sounds horrific, but a heart boils on the stove as part of an elaborate cure for melancholy. Fox Demon contemplates avenging her sister's death. And then a true to life story, a mother and daughter try to heal their rift when the daughter falls unexpectedly pregnant. And it just goes on from there. So there are stories that have danger, they're heartbreaking, but there's a lot of joy here. And she's a really great writer. So that is Green Frog.
And I think like your other book that you have on here, Sea Change, that was another popular one by
Yeah,
her. Yeah,
that was
first one.
her
Yeah.
novel that
Her
came out,
novel, yeah.
I think, at around the same time, got lots of praise and award
Yep.
recommendations.
We got lots of good books you guys are talking about today. I love it. Okay, Tom, what's your lightning round?
All right. I don't need an excuse to talk about Mary Oliver,
I was gonna say, is this in Mike Nichols?
but I have an excuse. I have an excuse, which is it was just picked this month by Jenna, or no, yeah, Read with Jenna,
Mhm.
picked for December. And I guess so. Mary Oliver, the great poet, the most, maybe it seems like the most popular modern poet. Liz can correct me, but
Yes,
seems right.
yes.
And Jenna called it this collection cathartic and beautiful. These are more than 200 poems that she put together when we published it. They cover her life as a poet from 1963 to 2015. And we all need more Mary Oliver poetry in our lives all the time, but maybe especially right now. So the only thing I will say, this, I probably shouldn't say this, but I, for one, don't want to see the Read with Jenna logo on for till the end of time. I'm just saying. I mean, I have no control over that, but my guess is Read with Jenna will be on this book for a long time. I'm gonna now read. I shouldn't leave this to Liz, but I'm gonna read a little bit of Mary Oliver for you.
Yes.
A dramatic reading from Tom?
A dramatic reading, and that's not the whole poem. It's just the end. The poem is The Summer Day. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Chills. You did so well.
Good choice on one. That's a good choice on one too.
Yeah,
Because I think a lot of people are asking that question right now.
Exactly. And you can't go wrong. You open up this book at any page, you're going to find a great poem. But yeah.
You know
Love it.
what's funny? Quick thought. I just saw a post from a teacher friend of mine on Facebook saying they got their first AI poem from one of their students, and AI had generated some very famous Mary Oliver lines in this poem, and they were immediately recognizable. So there you go.
Hey, it's gonna be the death of us. I swear to God, not to be
In more ways,
doomsday.
in more ways than one.
I know. Oh my
Yeah.
God, help me.
Yeah, multiple ways. Okay.
Andrea, save us. Just from AI.
Apparently it was hallucinating those lines. So
AI hallucinates now. Oh my God.
oh
Help me.
yeah, that's the big problem with it. So well, that's one of the problems with it. So I want to talk about a couple of books, some like big award winners, and this Oprah book club, December 2024, her 109th book club pick. We all know this title. We've been talking about it for a while. It was also shortlisted for the Booker Prize back in 2021 or 2022. It published in 2021. But there's plenty of stock, and this is one of those short novels. It's 114 pages, so we're in novella territory here for the Claire Keegan Small Things Like These. It's Christmas adjacent, and listen, you may have read this, but you can pick up another copy. It's a really nice little stocking stuffer. It's also for anybody who's into short books for their book club. This is a great book club title. And then I just another reminder about Orbital, the Booker Prize for this year, 2024. Again, plenty of stock with more coming, I believe. At Warwick's, Samantha Harvey, great writer. And these are, you can't go wrong. These are no-brainers, right? From Grove Press. They're award winners. Oprah, loved this little beauty here, Small Things Like These. And there's just not one wasted word in a Claire Keegan book. She's one of the great modern masters. And if you haven't read her, buy 2 books. Buy one for you and one for a friend that you think might like a short little read. And thanks so much, everyone, for listening to me talk about these books over and over. But it's worth it, I feel, just to, bring home the fact that these are winners.
Yep. Small Things Like These. And if you've already read that, pick up Foster by her, because that of her, honestly, Small Things Like These I love. Don't get me wrong. I loved Foster.
Yeah, so did I.
Crying.
Oh my God. It was just, and I've got an old brain and I still remember the end of that book. It was amazing.
Oh,
And
the
Orbital, I
master
think,
pages are unforgettable.
unforgettable. And Orbital, I
Okay.
think, was our number one, I think it was our number one bestseller this week. So
Oh, great. That's good to hear. And then also she's got Antarctica, her first short story collection that's selling really well too, that just came out last month. So, I mean, all fires are
Yep. All cylinders.
all cylinders are firing.
All
What
cylinders
is
are
going
firing.
on with me?
We will
Wow.
get it. Well, Andrew, between me and you, we'll
need
get
a
it
nap.
said. We'll get it said. Okay, I'm going to share real quick
Thank
something
you.
that I've been involved in for the
Ooh.
year. I was the chairperson. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not. Amanda's probably going to yell at me. For the fiction panel for this. So these are the finalists of the Golden Poppies. And I think if you're on our email list, you got an email from us that had these. But while I was spending time reading all of our wonderful reps, things that are coming out in the future, we had 60 nominations for the fiction panel. So out of the 60, these are the 5 that we chose that bubbled up to the top. So Tom, I think you said Headshot was one of your favorite books of this year.
Yeah.
And
I'm so happy to see it on this list.
yeah,
And Real Americans, and obviously James, but I loved Real Americans.
Yep. And Poor Dear was fantastic. I loved that book. And Under a Neon Sun. I think,
Is this going to be public, these 5?
yeah, I think it already is public.
Oh my God, Kate Gale, is the publisher at Red Hen. She is going to be so excited.
Yeah, I think this is, Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this already public?
Hopefully it is, or
Hopefully it is, or
it
else
is
I'm in deep, you know what? Well, we sent an email out to our customers, so for God's sakes,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
be public.
Good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Kate Gale is already excited.
And if you have a secret, just don't ever tell me. Okay.
Or me.
Just
Or me.
don't ever tell me a secret, because although I do have to say, I'm actually pretty good about like real secrets, but stuff like this, it's like, why shouldn't everybody know about this?
Yeah.
These are so that's a really great list for some really good gift books for people if you're, and so one of those, which I have a feeling I know which one, will be the Golden Poppy Award winner. But I think that the short list there, or the finalist, is a really good list of books.
You're right. The timing is so good for holidays. And all the work you all put into, I mean, you put a lot of work into selecting, arguing, I bet. And
yeah, we didn't do as much arguing as I thought we would, because we had a system of like numbering. So some things, but there were some times when people would die on the hill for some stuff. It's like, are you, because I was the chairperson, so I would always throw out when they would like start arguing about it. I said, "You gonna die on the hill for this one?" And they go, "No, I'm die on the hill for it."
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
The public is invited to the virtual event ceremony when the winners are announced. It's on January 30th, and I'm going to put the link to register in the comments here.
Awesome. Oh, perfect. I did not know that. So yeah, so
Mhm.
that'll be good. So the winners will get, like, I think what they did last year is each committee gets to ask the author a question of the winner. So they get it. So they get to talk a little bit about their book. So, oh yeah, it was kind of fun being the chairperson for it because it was just like,
I
you know,
bet
and then I had,
you're a good chairperson. You're a good, you know.
it was like,
Come on, people. Where are you?
kind of
Let's go.
kind of went right through the, you know, sliced through the butter or whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it that.
Oh yeah, cracking the whip.
Yeah, because
Have you ever been a foreman on a jury?
No, well, I've been on a jury.
Oh.
I've been on murder trials before,
Ooh.
but never got to the jury part. I
Mhm.
probably would have been.
You would have been selected. I bet.
Selected as the foreman. Because it's like, oh, that would be. Oh, I don't know if I could do that. The foreman part
You'd be
of it.
great at that.
Oh, yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
tough one. But yeah, been a couple times. I was actually on a murder trial and then was like 3 seats away from getting chosen for another murder trial. And I was like, okay, what happened to like the civil cases that are out there?
Yeah.
So, come on, people. Okay, how do I get on that subject? Anyway, so some really good books. It was fun being on the Golden Poppy thing. It was fun getting to know other booksellers too, and having that, you know, because they're all other California booksellers that are on it. So it's very fun. So, anywho, get to the bookstore, get some books. The book that I recommended last week, it was in my UT Rec, Time of the Child, is like sold out everywhere. So unfortunately, missed opportunities on that because there aren't enough out there. So hopefully we can get some more in before the end of the year. But this is the time when things are going to start selling out. So if you see something that you think you want to buy for somebody for a gift, just put it in the cart and get it. So
Yeah, because there is some storms that are also wreaking havoc with, you know, trucks trying
deliveries.
to traverse the country. So
Yep. So although what I have to say is that this is one of those years where there's not that one book that everybody wants. There's a lot of really good books. So if you don't happen to get that particular one, there's going to be something that we're going to be able to get for you.
That's true.
That's going to satisfy your need on that. So with that, thanks reps for coming in. Appreciate it. And we will see everybody next week. I'll be here next week. It's the following week that I won't be here, but next week we'll be here. So hopefully we'll have another full house like this. So, all right.
thanks.
Happy
Cheers.
birthday, Andrea.
Thank
Yes,
you.
happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Should we sing? No, I really am a
No.
bad singer.
No.
We read a poem. What are
I
you
know,
up
that
to
was
with your
poem.
one
Good
wild
deal.
and
There you
precious
go.
In your
birthday?
honor, Andrea.
In your honor, you got a poem.
Everyone have a drink in Andrea's honor tonight.
Yes, yes.
There you
Yes,
go.
I will.
I love it. All right, I'm gonna end the webinar. Bye, everybody.
Bye.